She just turned 2, so when we wanted to explain to her fully, it was still impossible because she may not understand the entirety of it. What happened to your child? So my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia when she was just turned 2 years old. We got to know about her condition when we started seeing spots on her face. At first we thought it was constipation, so she's trying to force the stool out. But then the doctor told her to go for a blood test. They informed us that she has leukemia.
Faiz was diagnosed with Wilms tumor. Wilms tumor is kidney cancer. So he was diagnosed when he was 7 years old. It was just about, I think, a week or 2 after his birthday that we found out. So he had a fever for a few days, and then one morning he just vomited. So we brought him to the doctor. The GP touched his stomach and found a mass. So she referred us to KKH, and yeah, that was how it started.
Of course, I was concerned because when I see the bruising, it doesn't seem natural, like the size of a baseball. So we did blood tests and we were hoping that it was an infection. Yeah, but we never imagined that it would be cancer.
因为之前他有曾经每次头痛啦，把我们带他去楼下的那些诊疗所看医生，医生都诊断不出啦，他说他是偏头痛啦。有时候他会好像头痛会吐咯，很严重，最后一次他真的是要晕倒了咯，等我们就觉得不对了，要带他去看专科咯。那么再做进一步的检查出来医生就告诉我，他说他里面怀疑有生瘤。开第3次手术的时候，50%会导致中风。当时我真的很担心咯，然后我就跟医生讲，你小心的帮我照顾我的女儿，我不希望我的女儿中风啦，坦白讲。
It was shocking, but not so much. Before they did any tests, the doctors actually told me that they suspected. I read up on Wilms tumor. I spoke to a friend who knows someone who has Wilms tumor. So I was sort of mentally prepared. The worst case scenario would be at an advanced stage, and maybe he might not even survive it. Yeah, but then we told each other, oh, let's not think too far. Let's just go through the first step first and then see what the doctor says. So yeah.
I was numb. I think I also felt a lot of anger, like what, why Lucas and So we were supposed to enjoy the remainder of his year and then have a lot of fun experiences before going to formal schooling. So my husband and I couldn't talk, because we were feeling our own emotions, and I couldn't pray. But then because I had the support of my family and close friends, then they helped me to gain perspective.
Before Asfa, my wife and I, we had our first child, but it was a stillborn. So emotionally, we had suffered something serious before. So when we got to know that Asfa was diagnosed with leukemia, we were very sad. Around that time, my wife was pregnant with our third. Upon receiving the news, we had a miscarriage of our third child. So we were not angry. We believe that God knows what's best for us. So we have that faith in us, and we take it as a test as well on how we can do our part for Asfa's recovery.
你有向你的孩子坦诚他的病情吗？脑科部有个医生过来跟我讲先，他们看到有脑水，那个脑水必须要先取出来，那个是危险，很危险。然后问我要不要让我的女儿知道这件事情，我说要，因为她已经10多岁，她应该要知道嘛，因为可能要剃她的头发这些，我们不要隐瞒她。
So I'm scared that the wound wouldn't recover, and then there would be a patch of my head that would be bald forever. And also because I feel like my face is very large without hair, but I wouldn't risk of having like another infection. And once my surgery is done, I can always still grow back my hair. Yeah.
I think we didn't talk about it as well because I was dealing with my own emotions and he was dealing with his own emotions. I think we depended on the KKH social workers and the therapists to kind of explain.
I thought it was weird, like why couldn't I walk around? Why couldn't I get off the bed? I didn't like everything, even the hospital, the nurses, the doctors, because they made me stay in the bed.
I had to make sure that I didn't, transfer it to him, or if I was tired or frustrated, I really had to keep my spirits up. So it was like helping him to manage his anger, also help him to get through the days. Was I honest with you?
Yes. My husband and I, we were very honest with him. We told him that night itself. We told him the treatment plans the doctor has for him.
My parents didn't tell me that there were needles in the treatment. And whenever I had fever, I had to go to the hospital and they have to poke a needle here so that they can attach the drip. Once I wanted them to poke a needle here, but they couldn't find the vein because I have a birthmark here.
So instead of attaching the drip for antibiotic here, they will just attach it through his pot. So according to them, it's less painful. Sometimes Faiz refuses to use the pot because if they attach through the pot, he cannot button up his shirt and he's pretty conscious. So sometimes he requests for the drip to be inserted here.
She just turned 2, so when we wanted to explain to her fully, it was still impossible because she may not understand the entirety of it. So at that age, we shared with her as much as we could. On the other hand, we didn't want to disclose too much such that she develops a negative impression of herself. Because of the chemo, her hair started to fall off. What my wife did was get a hairband with a fake hair extension and made it look like Elsa's long hair. So I would say like, hey, things like, hi darling, so pretty today, you look so beautiful. Even up to today, I still do that. What kept you sane? Okay, alright, even though it was tough seeing her going through treatment, but there were many pockets of joy and new experiences, being simply because she was growing up at the time. So those new milestones in her life kept us happy, kept us sane, kept us grounded. Hey, it's just for a while, she's going to treatment. After this, she can resume to being another kid who's growing up, experiencing the world for herself.
It really helps if you have a strong support network because it can be quite lonely in the hospital. So I remember friends came over on the weekends and bring coffee and cupcakes while he was napping. But I would have to say it was a lot of my faith as well, going from not being able to pray to eventually depending on God for his recovery.
So I have a teenager, I have a kid and I have a baby. So it was quite difficult to manage. What kept me sane actually is to keep doing what I do on normal days. Okay, I have a baking business that I still continue even though he had to go for treatment, even though he had to go for operations. And I have this group of friends who are working full time, but they will send me messages that are not related to Faiz's illness. They don't ask how is Faiz today. No, they will just pop any nonsensical messages to me, and it helps to take my mind off his illness actually.
当时真的是会疯啦，整个人不懂要怎样做啦。反而他比我还开朗，他进去动手术，他就跟我讲，我知道动手术是怎样的，因为他有看脑瘤啊、动脑的手术啊，你不用怕，我不会死的，我会出来的。
I didn't want my mom to feel burdened by me, so I tried to put on a smile every time I met her.
Then 因为如果我们伤心，你要看了不是更伤心吗？然后我看他很开朗，然后我们更加要鼓励他咯，更加好像当作我们会好的，就这样子挨过咯，一天一天挨过咯。
One of the ways to keep sane was to let her watch animated movies, and Disney happens to be her favorite. So when we asked her, what would you like to do, at the end of the treatment, what would be nice? Then she said she wants to see all the princesses. So when Make-A-Wish reached out to us, that's when we got our wish to go to Hong Kong Disneyland. Yeah.
So what kept me sane was because before my whole surgery, I am an avid Korean drama watcher. In those Korean dramas, they have very interesting plots that are similar to my case. Even though they are met with obstacles, they are still very optimistic. So I wished to go to Korea with my mom and my aunt.
如果没有 Make-A-Wish 的帮忙，我想我是没有办法完成我女儿的心愿我也可能带不了她去到这么远的地方啦，没有这个能力啦。
In the morning, then I got dressed and then went down. Then all those people were waiting for me. And then when I went straight, like the Ferrari waiting for me, I felt happy, yeah. Because everyone cares about me and comes to my birthday, yeah.
We kind of didn't remember all the pain, the sadness, the crying anymore.
On the day I knew that I was going to Japan, I was jumping around. I was asking Mommy how long until we get to go to Japan. And then Mommy kept telling me, you will know when we're going.
Yeah, this wish has actually given him something to look forward to. Because at a time where everything seems very bleak, there's a ray of sunlight that just entered his life.
It lets her see that, hey, there is more to come. If you were to go soon, are you able to take to go for all the rides? How come?
Because I need to be tall.
You need to be
Tall.
taller and
Strong.
stronger. Yes.
Alright. What does being alive mean to you? Can I ask you? No. Yeah, come on, tell me.
If it was me, being alive means I can contribute more to my family. I can be around them and share the experiences of growing up, of my kids growing up, setting up their own families, getting successful in life, exploring new things in life.
After this, I view life as much more meaningful life. So right now, I feel more confident than before. When I shaved my head bald, my friends around me actually didn't care at all. What they care was how I am as a person. So right now, I wouldn't care about my appearance that much as compared to
好
before.
像我觉得她比较很在乎你的形象。
So being alive, we needed to move out of this idea of self-pity. We depended a lot on our faith. We prayed a lot. We played songs to lift his spirits. Our priorities changed. Like we no longer focused a lot on education. We put him out of school. We try not to stress him because if he were to relapse, it will be within these 2 years. So his health is the priority, and everything else is secondary.
What do you want in life now?
Now, I want a phone.
What can you do when you're alive?
You can enjoy the things that you like the most. Eat your favorite food.
When the chemo gets too tough for Faiz, he says, I wish I would just die. I wish God would just take me. I will take that opportunity to discuss life and death with him. They say, well, when you die, it's easy for you, but it's very difficult for the people that you leave behind. So what you have to do is to go through life. And then once you have lived your full life, then let God take you naturally.
Once I said I wanted to be an archaeologist, a chef, and a baker all at once. But after I had cancer, I wanted to be a doctor because I can treat cancer patients. And if they say they don't know how I feel, I will tell them I do because I went through cancer too.
In a way, I tried to tell him that death is not a solution, but being alive is a journey, and that is the journey that you must try to enjoy and make full use of.
The question is, do you think you're a good parent? Do you think I'm a good parent? Daddy good or naughty daddy or good daddy?
Funny daddy.
Funny daddy.
这个问题很难回答。我不认为啦，因为当时我还怪我自己为什么没有好好的照顾我的女儿，为什么我的女儿会得到这种病啦？连医生说不是，他跟我讲每个人都会有这些叫什么癌细胞，只是我的女儿不幸运，她发作而已。那当时我有怪过自己，就是可能我忽略了关心她。
我觉得她是一位好母亲，因为我在住院的时候，我很害怕，因为我之前听过很多鬼故事，好像在医院里面，所以我就叫她，你晚上可以陪我一起在那边睡觉嘛，然后她就每天晚上都在那边。其他的医生，他们的妈妈都没有在那里24小时了，在那边照顾他们。
住了一次啦，可能睡不够。
所以有一次他，是在我睡觉之前的时候，然后他就跟我说：“你想喝什么，你就可以叫我起来，我帮你倒水。”我半夜我很口渴，然后我就起来，我就叫他醒来，妈咪，我要喝水。然后他就发很大的脾气，他就跟我说：“你要喝水，你自己可以倒在前面而已嘛。”很冤枉。
I think I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm still learning to be a parent. I've managed to keep him away from infections. Yeah, I've managed to keep him happy.
My mommy is kind because whenever I vomit, I will always apologize because I always think it's my fault, and then she will say it's not your fault, it's Kimo's fault.
Have you ever seen mommy cry? I don't show my emotions openly. Maybe because I think that as a parent, I should be strong for my child. I don't want him to see me emotional because I don't want him to feel bad.
Yeah, I try to make sure that I model for them what is important. Tell them that look, things might not always go our way. How you cope with it is more important than the experience itself. So a good parent would want to leave a legacy of values that she believes in, and for me, those are the things that I want to leave with him.
What do you say about your
What did I say? Too overexcited, yeah. She was the first one walking to a cosplayer. Like saying, "Ooh, yay, whatever."
Because I was excited for you, happy for you.
I think being a parent is a role. It's a multi-role position. Sometimes you gotta be the supportive parent. Sometimes you gotta be the strict parent. Sometimes you gotta be the inspirational parent. Sometimes you gotta be the goofy parent. So the tough part is trying to decide which role to play at the moment, or in which situation. So as good as can be, I'm getting better.
What do you like to play with Daddy? Like
I like to join Daddy.
draw.
Yeah.
Okay, now right, we want to write a wish for each other.
我希望你身体健康，每天都是开开心心的。希望还能陪你一起去台湾旅行。妈咪永远爱你。
I want my mom to be healthy and happy, and hopefully we can travel to her dream country, Taiwan, one day.
I wish for you to remain healthy and continue to be the resilient boy I know. I love you. What's yours?
Your turn.
I wish mommy will be healthy and happy.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Can you show us what you point for? What's that?
I drew a heart and a smile.
I wish for Lucas to be healthy and happy all his life.
I wish that she won't cry anymore.
Okay, I wish for you to be brave and kind, going through your life and having your own family. Make the best choices and be happy, okay?
I love you, Daddy.
Oh, Shaya. Love you, darling.
Sometimes a wish can make wonders. Do you know of children with critical illnesses? You can refer them to Make-A-Wish organization and help make their wish come true. More details in the description below. Enjoying our series? You can watch more Can Ask Me episodes on our playlist over here. Click on the bell icon to be notified of our latest release episode.